Hello, everyone. Let me know if you are watching and you can see me talking to you. It's just very much nicer if I can see you, see that you're there and that I'm talking to people. So, thank you if you are joining me. Today, I've got a guest coming. She's waiting behind the scenes, and I'm very excited to introduce you to her. The purpose of this conversation is very much about the event that I run, which is called the HR Big Meet. You can see a QR code up here. And the idea behind it is to introduce you to the event team before you come along and hopefully to entice you to come along so that you know that we are all just humans, even if we are brave enough to stand up on stage. You don't need to put us up on a pedestal. So I'm going to, without further ado, and hopefully if the tech works, I am going to introduce our guest for today, who is our headline speaker. That's probably making her feel nervous behind the scenes, by the way. I'm looking at her, she's laughing. I introduce you to the fantastic Faye.
Hello, thank
Yay!
you.
I hope everyone can see you. See you. Yay, guys, you can see us. Thank you. Fabulous. So, Faye, it's so nice to see you. Thank you for coming along and having a chat with me. And I think the tech has worked. Someone let me know if you can also see Faye, because that's really important to me. How are you today, Faye?
I'm good, thank you very much. Very excited to be chatting to you. Thanks for having me. First of all, to be a speaker at the event, but also to have me here on the live.
Yeah, I am delighted that you said yes because, yay, Kirsty says hi. Yeah, I thought this time around we've done a few kind of speaker posts, finished announcing the event team yesterday. So that went out. We announced our last speaker, although it was an anonymous speaker. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice if people got a chance to chat to the speakers ahead of time, understand maybe a little bit more about what they're going to be talking about. Although I appreciate, Faye, I'm not expecting you to have everything worked out because there's some time left yet. And yeah, just see what we might be talking about on the day. That sounds all right with you, Faye, I hope?
Yeah, it sounds good to me. And I haven't done one of these lives where it's so fancy and you've got all this text set up, Emma. And I've just seen that Nicola's said hello. So I'm just going to say hello back to her. Hi, Nicola. It's lovely to have you watching.
Fabulous. Isn't it fancy? I've gone next level this year. I've got a new ticketing system for the like people can scan in, and now here I am with this like fancy tech on like who am I? Get over yourself. Such a diva. Okay, so I'm not gonna grill you. I hope I don't let doesn't feel like a grilling. And of course, if anyone does want to comment with any questions that they want to ask Faye as well, then please do because we can both see them and we can respond. And I might even put some up on screen as well because I'm that fancy, Faye. I'm that fancy.
You're a
Um,
tech wizard now.
Tech wizard, although you know I'm not because of the drama we just had behind the scenes. I'll start off with the first question. Oh no, let me ask you to introduce yourself, Faye. That's the best place to start, isn't it?
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, hi everybody. If we haven't met before, I'm Faye Wallace, and I used to have an HR career before becoming a coach. I'm a coach who's in working with HR professionals, and I'm also the creator of the Essential Planner, and I'm the host of a podcast called HR Coffee Time.
Fabulous. And it's such a good planner. All your work is amazing, but the planner is the prompts that you have in there to help people kind of career wise, like it's a wonderful resource. So if you don't already have one of those, what you're doing is February, you definitely need, you need it now, don't you? Because you've had a month of this year. So grab one. And I know when people hear introductions like that, it's a very impressive introduction, Faye, of all the wonderful things that you've done and that you are doing and all the work that you're doing in the world. Sometimes it can feel really intimidating for people coming along to an event like this. Hopefully by the end of the live, you'll know that Faye and I we're just messed up, complex humans too. And there's nothing to be intimidated about or worried about in coming along and meeting us. So, Faye, let's go back to HR Big Meet last year
Mhm.
and specifically the after party, where I made a comment to you that was, Faye, you should come and be on the stage. And tell me what your reaction was.
Honestly, I can't believe it happened because we'd both been obviously at the event the whole day, and your fabulous event is all about building your confidence, recognizing that we're all different, but that we've all got something to contribute, about being brave, about being authentically you. And so I couldn't actually believe the words that came out my mouth when you said to me, would you consider being a speaker? And I just turned into this, I don't know, this sort of British, polite, terrified voice came out where oh, I couldn't possibly. Thank you so much. But oh my goodness, I wouldn't be as good as all those fabulous speakers you've had today. And no. And that was just it. I can't even remember your reaction, Emma, because I was panicking so much on the
Oh,
inside at thinking I cannot do it. I can't have just
yeah.
watched all those people up there do such a brilliant job. I would completely let Emma down. I just went to this total in about 1 second. No. Yeah, so I originally, instead of seizing the opportunity and saying thank you so much, said no.
It was a very hard, wasn't it?
It was a really hard no. And then I remember sitting on the train home and thinking, what did I just do? I can't believe I just turned down this amazing opportunity. Oh, and Kirsty has just said in the comments, Faye, you'll be amazing. Oh, thank you. So anyone
Right.
who hasn't met Kirsty, she's just so lovely and a ray of positivity. Thank you so much, Kirsty. But yeah, I sat on the train on the way home and I thought, I've just been in the presence of this wonderful woman, Emma, who is completely committed to helping people feel more confident, more brave, accept themselves for who they are, and that, yeah, we've all got something to contribute. And I have just turned down this amazing opportunity. So I gave myself a real talking to and thought, come on, Faye, absorb the messages from the event, absorb this messaging that you are enough, you can do this if you want to, be a little bit brave. And so I think I let a couple of weeks go past and spoke to a few friends who then helped me crank up the bravery. And I messaged you because we didn't know each other very well. I think I'd only ever spoken to you once before. It was at the HR Big Meet was the first time I'd ever met you. And so I sent you this message saying, I'm so sorry about my initial reaction. I really reflected on it and thought about how it goes against everything that you preach and believe in. And I promise, if you have me as a speaker, I will not let you down. And I promise that I will come up with something that is as good as everyone else. And I will deliver a really good talk for you and a good experience. And can I just pitch you some of my ideas? And I really thought you might come back and say, oh, thank you so much, but no.
What
After
did
that
you?
awful initial reaction, but you didn't. You came back and said, "Why don't you do a pitch to me?" Yeah, thank you very much for giving me a second chance.
Oh, of course. I love that. So, how often is it that we get that initial reaction when someone asks us to do something or it's a little outside of our comfort zone, not something that we would, and just to shy away from it and go, oh no, I could never be that person on the stage. Exactly as you've described. I love that. I love that you had a reflection behind the scenes of just going like a real talking to. Come on, what's this all about? It's brilliant. And then, of course, that you were again brave enough to get in touch with me, even though you had these ideas that I might just say no and tell you to go away or whatever you thought I might do. And here we are, and you're headlining.
I know. I couldn't believe it. I remember doing the pitch. I spent ages thinking about what would be helpful, what would be interesting. I think that was one of my initial fears. I'm just a regular person. There's nothing interesting for me to share. I think that had been one of my fears. So I spent absolutely ages just like jotting down lots of ideas of what could I talk about? How could these be connected? How could I talk about them in a compelling way? And I remember really nervously saying, and then I thought I could talk about this and this. And I sat quietly waiting for you to say, sorry, Faye, that's terrible. Or I'm already booked out with all these other wonderful speakers. And you said, great. So would you be the headline speaker? And I think I was actually lost for words when you said that.
That's amazing. And gosh, there's such a this the narrative, and I resonate with it. The kind of narrative in our heads around, oh, am I good enough, and how do I compare to everyone else, and am I interesting, and do I have a story? Like all of that stuff can just so get in the way of us being able to have our biggest impact in the world. Like I believe that everyone has got a story. Everyone has got some kind of story that is going to have impact on other people. And I'm so excited that you've decided that you had all of that going on, that you had that narrative, and you're like, yes, I'm coming, I'm doing it. I'm headlining it, off I go. So tell me, or tell everyone listening, and everyone please celebrate Faye in the comments for being so awesome and getting out of her own way, because that's essentially what's happened, isn't it? Like you could have got stuck and you didn't. So that's amazing. So please help me celebrate Faye too. And tell me, what Faye are you hoping that people will get from your story? What are you hoping to leave them with?
I'm going to be sharing a story about the toughest personal challenge I experienced when I was in my HR role. And I'm so grateful that I got through it. And I felt very lucky that I had so many wonderful people around me to support me with it. But having got through that and then have a bit of time passed, there were some real key life lessons that I took away from the experience. And it's those lessons that I want to share with everyone and give them some time as well to think about how they can apply them. I'm all about being practical. I guess that's why there's a planner to help you get organized. In the podcast, the advice on there is all very practical. I know if you just hear theoretical stuff, it can be difficult to then apply it to your own life. So, what I really want everyone to walk away with is just feeling a little bit inspired, but to have some tools that they can then use, help them get through something that they might be finding difficult, or when a challenge presents itself. Because we're all going to come at challenges, aren't we? We don't just have one and then there are none
Yeah.
left. So hoping that whatever challenge people might be experience, whether it's just a little one or hopefully it's not a really big one, but it might be, that they can think,
Yeah.
actually, these things Faye talked about, these life lessons, these tools that she shared, I can use them and I can get through this and I'm going to be okay.
Yes. What a lovely thing too. And so it's such an it's one thing kind of sharing tools and teaching people techniques. I think when that's coupled then with a story, it has so much more power for people. It's so much more impactful because the audience sitting watching you are going to see, hey, look at that woman on stage who's like epic, because you're going to be epic. Look at her and everything that she's overcome. And then also she's given me some tools. So maybe that's achievable for me. I think that's what I love about the HR Big Meet so much is this sharing of stories and then the little snippets that people choose to take away for themselves that then go on and make an impact. And look how Kirsty is giving the love. It's not coming up. There it is. It's a huge step to take. So well done, Faye.
Oh, thank you, Kirsty. And I've been saying hello to everyone as I've seen them in the chat, and I didn't say hi to Toby, so I'm now feeling very mean. Hi, Toby. Thank you for watching us.
Oh, who's Toby, eh? Blah. No, I'm joking, Toby. It's lovely to see you here, everyone who's watching, and of course you, especially Toby. I appreciate it. Okay, where we got to? We know what we're going to be talking about. What? Get my teeth in. You came last year, Faye,
Mhm.
to the event. Other than now being the headline the next year, what is your takeaway from having come to the event? Give the audience a of what they might experience or what might be available to them if they came along.
Oh my gosh, so much to share. Where do I begin? So I came to the event because I had complete FOMO after you ran it the first year. So the first year that you ran it, that LinkedIn almost exploded with posts from people saying, it's the best thing I've ever been to in my life. Oh my gosh, I'm at the event. It's amazing. And I was sat there at home going, no, I've missed out. I didn't. That's really what drove me to going in the first place. And so I knew it was going to be good because I had seen all of these posts, but I didn't fully know what to expect when I got there. And there were lots of things that stood out to me. The first thing that really stood out to me was how much you care about making sure everyone there feels connected, comfortable, confident, okay. Because I know we're all getting a bit more used to getting out and about now. The pandemic was a few years ago.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people, we didn't go to events for ages. And for me, gosh, most of my work is just behind a screen. So I was even a little bit nervous about going to an event in person. But you get
Yeah.
there and you have got, I don't know what you actually called them. I'm going to call them helpers. I'm sure they've got a much better name than that. So many people there to support you. There was one point where you said, okay, there's workshops now. So you can choose which workshop you'd like to attend. And I could see the one I wanted to attend was in a certain room, and I had no idea where the room was. And I wasn't standing next to anyone I knew who I could ask or if they would know where it was. And I literally just had to turn my head a little to the left, and there were like 3 helpers right there.
Oh,
Feel like, sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming at an event and you think, oh, I don't know where to go or
yes.
what to do or where to sit or who to, but all these helpers, what is their proper name? I should stop calling them helpers. Are they
I call them the event support team.
the event support team? They were just so friendly and welcoming and lovely, and like you couldn't have asked them enough questions. They were there to help. So I really liked
Oh,
that real feeling of support you had layered through. And I think because of the format, so I don't know if the format will change slightly this year, but we heard from a series of individual speakers, and everyone was sitting down listening to them, and everyone's stories are different. So I think everyone sitting there is going to resonate with different stuff and take different
yeah.
and learnings, or feel connected in different ways to the people who are speaking and everyone around them. And then you also had workshops, which I mentioned, didn't know where mine was, but I really liked that because it was very much tailored to you choose what's going to be right for you. So
Yeah.
I kind of think actually, as I'm articulating it to you, the key takeaway for me is that no matter like who you are, what type of personality you are, how you feel about going to events generally, you're going to get something from the day. And what you get might be different from someone else, but you'll get what you need and you'll leave feeling
Yeah.
inspired and uplifted and with a bit of bravery sprinkled over you. It might take you sitting on the train going home before the bravery kicks in. It will definitely happen. But I did like as well, I didn't mention actually that you had a panel event as well. And so what I liked was the fact that switched things up. It wasn't just sitting there listening to talks the entire day. The way that you facilitated and ran everything was different to how you might experience a traditional corporate event, shall we say? Like we were all on our feet, like swaying our hands in the air, and there was a really positive, welcoming, fun atmosphere to the whole day. Even if people were talking about sometimes quite serious things, you still very much felt like it was an uplifting, empowering environment.
Oh, that's such nice feedback, Faye. Thank you. So comprehensive as well, like all the different elements. Yeah, and the event support team, everyone that comes along and supports, I'm so grateful for them giving their time and yeah, totally agree with you. Epic group of people. And just to pick up on the question about am I switching up, the format this year stays largely the same in so much as there are obviously speakers, there's 5 speakers. We do have a panel. I'm really excited. We're meeting in March, and that's after March we'll be able to tell you the topic of the panel. But it's a cool one. It's about like bringing your whole self to leadership and some of the things that we leave behind sometimes. And then there are workshops, and it's going to feel a bit like you can choose your pathway throughout the day. So even if you don't want to go to any of the workshops, you can sit and chill and have a day connecting with people, or you can go to the speakers and the workshop, do it all. It's entirely, you can choose your own path. I'm excited for that. Each time it's grown into, we've taken on board the feedback, what people liked, what they didn't, and developed it each year. So thank you for sharing that. Last question for me is, what would you say to anyone who is unsure about coming along and whether they'd get anything from the day?
You definitely will get something. And everyone there's a real feeling of connections. The only reason I can really imagine, I may be totally wrong about this, someone not wanting to come is maybe if they're feeling a bit nervous about it. So I'd just say, please don't. And let me know if you're feeling nervous, and I will come and say hi to you. You will be okay. Like the whole support team is there. The way Emma structures the whole day means it is such a welcoming, inclusive space. And one thing I didn't mention actually is that if Emma wasn't doing the work she does now, she could actually be a professional stand-up. So when she talks and introduces everything and does her bits, she will have you crying with laughter. You have to come just to even see her in action.
Thank you. I do. This is now my thing. Apparently, it's comedy, and I'm okay with it. I'm completely okay with it. Yes, I think you're right around why might people feel nervous. Definitely the nerves and just to help ease that. It is hard walking into a venue when you don't know people, and particularly when there are already like groups of relationships established. It can be really hard to come in and go, where do I find my place in this? So to ease anyone's mind about that, we have an online community that you can join as soon as you buy your ticket. So you can come in and you can start networking with people straight away. And we're already talking about where's everyone staying, what are we wearing, like all the important stuff. I'll be doing speed networking events beforehand as well. So you can come in and meet some people, even just to arrange someone to meet in the morning to have a cup of coffee with and walk in together, that, you know, that's possible. And then on the day we're going to have super connectors. So these are people who are going to specifically be looking out for people who might be looking like they're on their own, haven't got anyone to chat to, and they'll be coming over. And if you want them to, I'm thinking of getting stickers that say just leave me alone, I'm happy. So that you don't get interrupted by one of the super connectors if you don't want to. There's a comment from Amy. She came on my own last year and honestly had a fantastic day and met some wonderful people. And I think that's the thing. I think when you see the great connections that people have made and you see them online, and you're like, how is everyone so, hang on, hide that, how is everyone so connected? It's because they've chosen to come along to an event like this and get stuck in and meet people, right? It has to start somewhere. So Faye, thank you so much for giving for letting me grill you and giving everyone an insight into what they might experience, you being there and learning from you. If you haven't got your ticket yet, then please, the QR code is right up there. Do get your ticket, do come along, learn from Faye and all the other incredible women who are brave enough to share their stories on stage. And if you've got any concerns about coming along, if you're feeling nervous, Faye's giving you an invite there to get in touch with her, and the same for me too. Just get in touch, let me ease your concerns, and let's get in a room and have a really nice time, because it is a really nice time. So thank you, Faye, for coming along. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no, you're so welcome. I didn't ask, are you doing the after party again this year as well?
Oh, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
didn't even
So,
mention
of course, we
that.
haven't even talked about DJ, who is like, DJ is coming along again. She's been here since year one. Debbie is an ex-colleague of mine. She taught herself to DJ during lockdown. How cool is that? And now she's doing gigs and stuff as a DJ, and she comes to the event and she's just part of the furniture now as well. Couldn't do it without her. So yeah, after party, DJ, what's not to like?
Exactly. Oh, that's happening again.
It certainly is. So who am I going to get into trouble this time, Faye? Who am I going to rope into getting up onto stage? Could be you. Let's let everyone get on. Thank you so much, Faye. I'll see you really soon. Thanks everyone for watching and for commenting, and hopefully see you in May.